Hi everybody, I'm Tim Bulott. Welcome to Adventure Backcountry and another episode of Old Jeep, Old Camcorder. So we're filming today with the Sony VX3 as we work on Andreas's YJ here. This is project 1991 YJ. Y'all have seen the delivery and the inspection of this Jeep in other videos, and for a change we finally got some time to put a little bit of effort into this, and we're going to begin the restoration process of it. Okay, so but real quick, I've been asked why am I using old equipment to shoot these, and let me just explain once again. Number one, we want to capture the image of these Jeeps as they looked in the day when they were a hot item. Number two, because we have the gear. And number three is because we want to be different than everybody else, okay? YouTube is full of one copy and the other, but how are they going to copy this, okay? I thought it might be a great concept. We're not going to shoot everything with the old camcorder gear, but for me, I enjoy the merging of the old technology with the new technology, and once again, to just kind of portray these Jeeps of how they looked back in the day. Now, having said that, let's take a look at where we're at with this project 1991 YJ. Okay, so as you can see here, we have completely dropped the tank. We are in the process of removing all the rust from the back half of the vehicle, and I've been really impressed with the condition of this frame so far, and I'll give you some examples here in just a minute. But we have put in a new fuel pump. We've got it hooked up so we can begin to work on this motor just to get it to turn over enough to where maybe we can drive it around and assess. So the condition of this frame was way better than on the previous YJ project. I mean, this thing here has surface rust, but I'm not going to have to cut and replace any sections of it whatsoever. The rear axle is also something that's going to be really easy to patch up. Now, we haven't got to the inside yet to see exactly what we had, but as far as looks and conditioning, we want this thing to look new. It's got good leaf springs on it. All of this is going to be easy restoration. Okay, we were able to remove the bolts that hold the gas tank in place without any serious effort. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, so the exhaust obviously is going to need to be replaced, but that's not a big deal. But just looking at the undercarriage here, not bad. I mean, for a near 30-year-old vehicle, not bad at all. Okay, eyeballing this frame, I am really pleased with the condition of this frame all the way through. I'm not seeing anything but some minor surface rust. It's going to be real easy to patch that up. Okay, so as you see, it is holding fuel pressure. Okay, after a little bit of work, changing around some hoses, we had to do a fuel filter, and the main thing was this fuel regulator right here. This thing was in pretty gnarly shape. Okay, we had to replace that. We've run it already. We've started it with a little bit of carb cleaner, so now that we've got fuel pressure, we're going to start it with gasoline, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay, so after a few rounds of running it on starter fluid and carb cleaner, we got it to run on gasoline under its old pressure. Now it's got some vacuum hoses, so it's not running good, but we're going to let it just sit here and idle for a while. I've got the fuel cap, or I'm sorry, the radiator cap off. I'm not sure if the gauge works or not. That's something we'll determine a little bit later, but I'm going to see if it takes fluid when it warms up, starts circulating. Fuel pressure's holding, no problem at 50 pounds. It's actually a little high, but not a big deal at this point. So we're going to let it idle, and got some progress here today. First start in who knows how many years. Alright, so I'm not too concerned with the condition of the engine right now. That engine's coming out and it's going to the machine shop. We've already checked and got a quote on that. I do want to get it running good enough to where we can put a seat in it and I can drive it around the range here at Weapons Academy, and we can better assess exactly where we're at as far as, you know, transmission, transfer case, axles, differentials, etc., etc. And it looks like we will be able to do that. So I may invest in some a rotor, distributor cap, and some things of that nature that I can reuse, but just to get the engine running good enough for now. We'll check compression on it here in a few also. right, so I think we've accomplished our mission for today. We got it running. That's the first start in I don't know how many years. I didn't record it. I didn't have the camera out, but it took quite a few squirts of the good old SuperTech carb cleaner to get it to fire. But once it started firing, it idled. I mean, it seems to be idling. I mean, it's got a miss in it, but we can track that down. I just don't want to let it idle any longer because I've got some fuel lines that need to be reclamped down and tightened up because we had it quite a bit disassembled. But we've definitely got a starting point here. We know that it's going to run. Okay, the gauges, the tachometer's working, and the temperature gauge was coming up. Looks like the fuel gauge is not working, and the oil pressure gauge is not working. But anyway, we'll dig into those a little bit later. That's way down the road. But for now, 1991 YJ, Project YJ is on track. So follow along with us as we give you more old Jeeps with old camcorders. We'll be back.